Welcome back, everyone, to Football Focus SG podcast. It's been a long while. It's me, Faiz, together with Mr. JB. How are you doing, Mr. JB?
Yep, all good, all good. Although yes, we'll get to the not so good part, but uh, in a nutshell, pretty good. Football, not so much.
So, in general, it's good, but football-wise, not so good. Okay, I mean, we are gonna talk about it in a while. Basically, we do have a bit of a long break, and don't think we need to go too much into details on that. We are basically trying our best to see if we can try to revive this and have it on a weekly basis at some point. But of course, at certain point, if we have to take a break, we might have to take a break. And yeah, football has been treating us well, even though, results aren't the best for everyone, but it has been going well for everyone in terms of general football because EPL is back, Champions League is back, um, exciting times ahead, especially with the EPL. We have yet to talk about EPL this season, and I believe the last season when we do the EPL, somewhere around this kind of time, I believe the matches were played about 5, 6 matches, and then we will have our prediction. And he has come again for us to talk about the EPL so far for the past few games based on our favorite team. And we're gonna have to make our prediction for the end of the season. So hope you guys will stick around. So let's talk about EPL, Mr. JB. 7 games in. What are your thoughts so far in general for EPL for you?
Well, I feel in general the Premier League this time is unpredictable, eventful. I would say, uh, just like you know any other Premier League opening, like the first 10 games probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do have some surprises here and there. Uh, and at the same time, I feel that this is one of the reasons why the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world, and I would probably say like the one that sets the standard. Although I believe there are some of the things that we can discuss further down the line, but yeah, I think overall the Premier League has been an exciting one, full of twists and turns and unexpected moments. Although if you look at the top two of the table, and not much surprises there. But I think from table number three onwards, I think it's pretty interesting where it goes there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has been interesting, yet one thing still in common, and that is Manchester City is still first in the table. And again, as of recording, this has been 7 matches in where Man City is leading in the table with 18 points, 6 wins and 1 loss, and followed by Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, and etc. So I'm gonna go through with you real quick, Mr. JB. Like, we're gonna talk about it club by club in general. Like, what do you think of their matches so far in the past 7 games, and what do you have as a season expectation for those clubs? Because we're not here sometimes to just judge and criticize or talk about just our favorite club. We can talk about the other teams that can surprise us, that can actually be affected to any of the race, especially in EPL. So starting off, of course, we're going to talk about Man City itself, who is first at the moment. Sure, despite a shocking loss to Wolves, what did you make of their start so far after 7 games?
Well, I mean, to be honest, up until the game against Wolves, they are undefeated like in all competition. So that in itself speaks, a lot. Being the defending champion
Yeah,
of the league last season, and at the same time, treble winners. I'm sure they would want to put their best foot forward, to play at their best and to show why they are the best. So, yes, the first 6 games has been, expected with the amount of quality that they have. I mean, if you have a team that you can put out and you can afford to put Phil Foden on the bench, it says something, right? I mean, Phil Foden, he can start in any team in the Premier League outside of Man City, no problem. He'll
Yeah.
definitely be a starter. But yeah, but for him to be, still bench and everything, and let's not forget, Man City have their fair share of injury as well. With De Bruyne, and of course the unfortunate Rodri's red card, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk a bit of Rodri because I have talked to a certain Man City fan. They were saying that,
Mhm.
even there are matches without Haaland, they can still score, they can still win. There are matches without Kevin De Bruyne, they have still enough creativeness to create and win. Yet for
Yeah,
some reason, some fans actually say that without Rodri, Rodri is kind of like the spine of the team, and apparently without him, that midfield just collapse. Is that really true?
yeah. I kind of agree with that. And it's strange because Rodri come from Spain, and I remember back then, but a Spanish player by the name of David Silva. I believe most people would say the same about him as well. He is
Yeah,
the spine. They are those kind of players. Like your Modrics and stuff like that. Like not so much of a flashy type of name. But at the same time, you do know that they play a very important role, and they
yeah,
do what they do best, and that is just playing football at the highest level. So, yes, I agree. I mean, Rodri is, even though Rodri, I'm not sure how old is Rodri. I think he's probably 20 plus or late 20s. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, for him to be at that level, yeah, he's definitely one of the key midfielders at the moment for Man City.
yeah,
Because looking at the rest of the lineup, I think most of it is quite, I'm saying like quite new names, like your Kovacics and all that.
yeah,
The other senior player I would say is just De Bruyne.
mm,
Uh, yeah, and the rest are probably, I mean, come on, Kelvin Phillips, not so
yeah,
much of a name, Matthews, Nunez. Yeah, so these are the kind of things. So yes, of course, when you look at Foden, I'm sorry, when you look at Rodri, yeah, he is an important player for them.
okay. I mean, yeah, I think we can clearly agree and see that Wolves managed to take advantage of that midfield, especially, and they run all the way the whole match. I think Pedro Neto was one of the men of the match performance on that game against Man City. But we're not going to talk about Man City just losing on this one. I mean, they have been dominant regardless in the first 6 games before that loss. But we're going to move on now to the next team, which apparently is starting to be a bit of your favorite at the moment as well. Mr. Ange himself, Tottenham Hotspur, second on the table, 17 points, level with Arsenal, 5 wins, 2 draws, same goal difference. What do you make of Spurs at
Sure.
the moment?
Man, I mean, one word, man, Ange Ball. I mean, okay, two words.
Yeah,
Ange Ball and undefeated. They have
yeah,
not lost in the Premier League. So, I mean, after 7 games, you expect teams like Spurs to be dropping some points at least,
yeah,
you know. But for them to come out guns blazing, and to be honest, I think other than the team that I supported, I think I watched Spurs game the most after Manchester United. So for this season, so yes, so after watching them play, yeah, you can see, Ange definitely has a game plan in mind. He put his team together, and of course, I mean, everyone thought that without Kane, the team is going down. Like, who's gonna score for them the goals? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? But come on, man. I mean, there's always a silver lining in anything. And I think at the moment, I think Spurs is one of those teams where I think almost every position has a goal scorer right now. Their
yeah,
defender can score, their midfielder can score, and I think their striker as well can score. So, um, although unfortunately their striker at the moment is Heung-min Son,
yeah,
Richarlison is having quite a bad luck at the moment, I believe, or some bad run or bad spell, which I hope he can be better. But I'm really impressed with what I think might be signing of the season, and that is James Madison.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
definitely.
uh,
I mean,
I think I
we
think
cannot talk
I
about
think he's the one
Spurs
that,
without talking about James Madison. He made quite an
yeah, I mean, he
impact in
has
that
been,
season so far.
yeah, he has been, what I'm saying, he has been one of the better players out there. And let's not forget about Bissouma as well,
Yeah,
one of the
Zuma's coming
most
up as
improved
well,
players.
finally putting in the performance at what they paid for from Brighton.
That's right. That's right. And also, players like Kulusevski and all that, Matasa,
Yeah,
trying to get back on the team. And at the same time, I'm also impressed by their defender. I think Romero has also matured over time. And
yeah,
then I think they bought Mickey Van de Ven. I think that guy is really good as well. Pretty good
yeah.
signing as well.
And even
Yep. And not
also I
forgetting,
guess Destiny Udogi
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Destiny
very
Udogi.
good.
That man right there
Of
is
course,
up and coming.
yes. I think as of now, Spurs just come off with a controversial victory, but we're gonna talk about it later a little bit in the video. Of course, when we talk about another club that they are involved with, but
Mm.
Spurs are on level with Arsenal. Speaking of undefeated, Arsenal is the next one that is undefeated, and I'll be the first to say this. I am impressed with Spurs. I'll be honest with you. Even Arsenal against Spurs when they draw 2-2. Honestly, I feel that Spurs could have actually come up with something with that game. It's not really a dominant performance. It's not really like it is kind of even or, but I would say Arsenal are probably the luckier of the two, considering that Romero has a own goal and a handball to provide a penalty, which really luck was on our side for Arsenal. But whereas for Spurs, some of it, well, they really changed the way they play. Like what you say is true. Ange ball is something else at the moment, but I'm just wondering for Spurs because I remember previously as well when with Nuno Santo took over, they were first at one point of time in the first few games
Yep.
before the whole
Yep.
capitulation. Will Ange
That's right.
had the same issue with Spurs or no?
It's tough to say. I mean, so far they do have met with United, Arsenal, uh, Liverpool, the controversial one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, so far, I mean, so far as of now, they do look good. Because I think the only team that probably uh will prove to be a good challenge for them will probably be Man City. Uh, yeah. So we shall see how far this Ange ball goes because yeah, I do feel Spurs have a pretty good preseason. Not many injuries as well for them,
yeah,
and yeah, I mean let's just see how it goes. And I'm not sure where is Hugo Lloris at the moment. I think he's still in Spurs, I guess, and nobody is
yeah. I mean,
buying him.
he's currently the second choice now. With Vicario at first, he's the second choice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm quite impressed by Vicario as well. I mean, the first few games he's quite gingerly, he's quite nervous, but after that, you can tell he's quite confident. He trusts his defenders.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um.
brilliant.
Yeah. So Arsenal next, and not not gonna spend too much time on it because I'm already an Arsenal fan, and if I were to talk about it, it might take more than a podcast for me to talk about Arsenal. But their start to the season, I would say it's actually decent. It's not as bad as we think, but it's not as bright as it was last season. For some reason, I can see what Arteta's trying to do, especially with his new signing. He made a lot of signing this time, but
Mm,
signings like Havertz is what the main talking point everyone's questioning whether is it a good buy or not, which is still a question now after 7 games. We bought Jurien
mm,
Timber, who looks amazing in the first game, even in Community
mm,
Shield, until he blew his leg out, and now he's out for till next year. And
mm.
yeah, just things wasn't really going to plan in terms of some of the signings that we have made. But Declan Rice has been one of the revelation signs that we have made. And I would say that Declan Rice has been turning into slowly a signing of the season for us already. Um, Especially, one of the big games that he showed up was against Man United, where we won 3-1. And Declan Rice showed up and announced himself that that he's there to stay in Arsenal midfield, and I believe the Arsenal might challenge again for the title this season. I mean, what do you think, Mr. Jui? Do you think Arsenal is worthy of a challenger to go again this season with Man City like last season?
Yeah, of course. I mean when you finish second last season, right?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, when you finish second last season and the performance that they did last season was also good. Of course, that will be the standard that you wanna maintain. So yes, of course, but at the same time, there'll be a lot of pressure for Arsenal as well because what you said, Declan Rice. Uh, yes, a signing, but not just any signing, the most expensive signing for the club. Uh, yep, a lot of pressure. Uh, so and then we can slowly see is Arteta probably too much reliant on Bukayo Saka, probably.
Probably.
Uh,
I mean, it seems like he's
yep,
burnt out at the moment and got
uh,
injured during the Champions League game. So he
yep,
might
you know what I'm
actually
saying? So
miss against Man City this weekend. So
that's right. Yeah. So you see, so that's the thing with all these dynamics. It's not so easy to maintain a consistent result. But yes, if you're looking at a club like Arsenal and the way they finished last season, I think this season they will definitely need to at least maintain. If not, then it might be a bad season because uh,
I actually feel like
looking at
injury is gonna cost us this season. I mean, we already have Martinelli injured, and now we
yeah,
probably have Saka injured. And
no, yeah,
Gabriel
like I said,
Jesus
I
is
mean,
never gonna be consistent in terms of fitness throughout. Partey is
I
always
mean,
gonna be injured as well. So we are
yep,
back and forth here.
yeah, that's what I said. I mean, my team itself is already handling with injuries. I mean, we'll get to that, but
Yeah, we'll
yes,
get to that. We'll get to that.
injuries, yeah, injuries just play a part. So that's what I said. I mean, Arsenal season technically right now
Yep,
will be double pressure at the moment because you will have to maintain the standards that you have, or at the same time, I feel that Arsenal should win at least a cup, at least one cup.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
feel
at
like we
least a
have
cup
to
because
go
if
for
not,
either Premier League or Champions League. I mean, no offense, not saying that FA Cup is not worthy. Arteta has won FA Cup in Arsenal in his first season.
yeah,
You know, for him
yeah,
to have a FA Cup again would mean it's just not really an improvement from the first season that he had. It's just FA Cup. We need to have a step up from there, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah.
Next up, we're gonna move on to Liverpool, who has the most controversial event that happened in the past week, which is Liverpool against Spurs, where the referee has made the most biggest of human errors that you can ever find. Some of the red cards call are a little bit dodgy, but it's understandable. Like the Curtis Jones, I can agree that's a red card. But the Diogo Jota, the second challenge was a foul, yes. However, his first yellow, the guy kicked himself. So,
Yep.
and then there's Luis Diaz goal, which caused a whole VAR controversy. Once again, in 2023, we are talking about VAR and consistency of decisions. What did you? Okay, let's break through one by one a little bit. Up to Liverpool's controversial game against Tottenham, let me ask you, Mr. JB, do you feel that Liverpool this season could actually fight for the title?
Uh, to be honest, looking at their signings and everything like that, I wasn't expecting much. Uh, because they lost Jordan Henderson, uh,
They have
what's the other guy,
scrapped the whole
Fabinho,
midfield.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they literally exhaust their midfielders. So
yeah. I
so I
mean, a
wasn't
lot of new
expecting them
signings
to.
like Endo, McAllister, Dominic Soboslai.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I mean, some of the signings are good, like like Bozla and all that. I mean, that one is all good. Uh, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not expecting at all. But at the same time, I'm quite impressed because their attacking side so far has been good. Yes, they have been conceding goals, here and there. Uh, not much clean sheet, but they still manage to grind out the result. So yes, I do expect them to put a good fight against Man City this season as well.
hmm. So, will you agree that it's going to be more than just a two-horse race in this season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, looking at the Premier League, uh, even the rest of the teams that I'm sure eventually you will get to. I think it's pretty open, right?
Yeah,
Like so far, we've only reached what, table number 4 now, and yes, it's already open to the top 4 already.
yeah,
Any 4 of these might have a chance of winning it. And I think if you look at the number of games, Spurs might be the most. Uh, Spurs might be having the greatest advantage
yeah,
because they just got out of the Carabao Cup, I think, a few weeks back.
yeah.
So basically, they're only left with the FA Cup and the Premier League. That's it. They
Yeah.
don't have any other competition. They don't have Europe. They don't have anything like that. So the chances of injury will be slim. The chances of recovery will be good. The same team might be sticking together. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? They might have a chance. Who knows?
Yeah. And now let's talk a bit about this whole debacle of VAR. What did you
Oh,
make
yeah.
of this Luis Diaz goal? That is my personal take. Yes, it should have been a goal. And however, when they lodge a complaint and request for the audio file from the PGMOL, and the PGMOL provide the audio, let's just say it just make the situation worse when we found out how horrible their communication was. Have you heard
Yeah.
the audio?
Yep. Yeah, I did
It
hear,
sounds
and you
like
can
a
sense
street
there's a lot
market
of
in there.
Yep, it sounds like an entire fiasco. Like everyone is like, hey, call this, call that. It's like, because
Because
apparently it's like
apparently the
check
VAR
complete.
people say his goal is onside, but the referee on the
Yep,
field says that he's offside and apparently not heard him and or something. There's a miscom along the way. But
yeah,
again, this is not the first time that we have talked about VAR. This is not the first time we have talked about, human errors. Like it's not the first time that similar things has happened. Like when the Arsenal and Brentford game last season, which was,
yeah,
Arsenal was on top, was first in the league, which could change, in terms of psychological things because of the points gap at one point. But the referee forgot to draw the line. That was the reason until
yep,
the referee stepped down because he forgot to draw the line. So he stepped down being a referee. So this one is a communication error, right?
yep,
I do want to ask. Normally, they can always kind of bring this back and say, hey, no, you got this wrong. You need to go and give the goal. And why do I say this? Because do you remember a game? I believe it's during the pandemic times. It was Man United versus Brighton. I believe the full time whistle has been blown. They have blown the full time whistle, and
yeah,
then only for them to reverse the decision because there was a penalty incident, but they were reviewing. And while they were reviewing, the match is still continue, and the referee just blow the final whistle. And then when blow the final whistle, they just cancel the whole final whistle because after reviewing, they say, hey, there should be a penalty. They open the game back and give a penalty to Man United, I believe, right?
yep. That's
And
right.
you guys score and you guys won. So the fact that that referee completed the whole game and still um, just restart the game because of the penalty incident and they cannot allow the match to end that way. Why can't they do the
Yep,
same for this case then? Why can't they? Yes, I get it. If they don't want to, if they feel embarrassed to admit that they are wrong, they wouldn't want to say, but they had all the time in the world to just amend that, but they don't.
yep. I mean that's the thing. I mean this is the kind of thing where the referee association or the VAR, whoever it is that's in charge, have to look at this holistically, because yes, it seems like, how do I put it? Like all along, the referee has been the one having the final say, right? So
Yep,
they need to have a clear sense of guideline, like how much can the VAR interfere and how much are you expecting the referee to make a decision? Because nine, like nine times out of ten, right? If the referee is being called to the VAR screen to take a look at something that is slow motion,
yeah,
at something that can give you three, four, five different angles. Nine times out of ten, the referee will have to change his decision, right? If
yeah,
it's an offside, he will definitely not call it for an offside anymore, because yeah, you have lines, you have things, you have drawn so many things, and you show him all the angles. He's gonna have to take it back, right? Unless
yeah,
like those, like really, really can go 50-50, those kind, some referees may want to keep the decision, some referee may not want to keep the decision. So for this particular case, it seems like yes, there's a form of miscom. I also read something like um because the VAR say check complete. So the referee thought that check complete meaning that they agree with him or something like that. When actually check complete meaning check complete is a goal or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the
So
miscom that day.
yeah, so you, exactly. So you see, so these are the kind of things where yes, I mean this kind of technology is new. I expected this kind of thing to happen. I mean, if you remember the very first time they introduced VR, how many times
Yeah.
in the entire 90 minutes were the match being disrupted? Whether it's
Yeah.
a handball, offside because of an elbow, offside because of a kneecap, all kinds
Yeah.
of funny stuff. But yeah, but you know, but these are the kind of things where if there's no problem, you can't fix, right? So it's good thing. It's kind of a good thing that you have this kind of problem. Although yes, this kind of mistake,
Yeah.
it's it's bad for the team, for the losing team, or for the one that's losing now. You know, for the one that is the so-called
I mean,
victim of this
especially it's
mistake.
very unfortunate the fact that they went down 9 men with a bit of a
Yeah,
Diogo Jota shouldn't really been sent off. Luis Diaz goal
but
should have stood. And the way they lost is by a 95-minute own goal. It is very heartbreaking, of course.
yeah,
It
but
is
again,
football,
I
but
mean, you think about it. Yeah, but, I mean, that's the thing. You just mentioned it right there. It is football. So even if 10 years ago, when there's no VAR, there are teams that will go down to 9 men, 8 men, 7 men. There are teams that you feel that it's not a handball, but the referee called for a handball. You
yeah,
know, there are teams where they scored and it's not offside, but the referee calls it for an offside or something like that. And then after that, we will continue talking about it, and it becomes a talking point and all that. So this is not something new, right? This is not
yeah,
something new, right? I mean, being 9 men and unfortunate goal or no goal. I mean, heck, Maradona scored using his hand in the World Cup,
yeah, you did.
right? He scored
Yeah,
using his hand in the World Cup, right? So you know, I mean that's the beauty of football. You know,
yeah,
yes, mistakes is mistakes, but at the same time, the moment you introduce this kind of technology, that's where the problem comes in. Because when this kind of technology happens, people expect it to be mistake proof, right? Because you can draw the lines, you have all the angles, you have someone else looking at it. So I think it's more important to know whether who wants to make the call. You know, I feel personally, to be very honest, as a football person, I'm not a fan of this VR. To be
yeah,
very honest, I'm not a fan of it. But okay, but because it improves the game somewhat, you know, especially like those offside decisions or those red card, yellow card moments, okay, fine. You know, it's okay to stay. But the problem now is how do they refine it such that that people know that okay, uh, the moment VR intervene, I expect the VAR people to be the one taking charge, not the referee.
yeah,
I feel like they are putting the referee in a very difficult spot.
yeah,
You know, it's very very ridiculous because the referee may see from his angle because he's on the pitch, so he sees from that angle, he gives a foul, he gives whatever decision he make, and then the players are all unhappy and everything like that, and then all of a sudden the VR call, and then the VR call the ref and say, hey, you wanna check this out, and then the ref have to go to the screen, and his mindset at that point of time isn't straight. You know what I'm saying? Like the VR people, they should be the one calling the shots. The moment
yeah,
VR come in, the VR referee or whoever it is, I mean, the VR people is also referee, right? I mean, that's what I thought. So
yeah,
they should be able to make the call on the spot, and just say that, okay, VR have intervened, VR says this decision. That's it. That's it. So you don't put the referee on the spot. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Now referee is like having all kinds of nonsensical duty because at the end of the day, they are the one who make the final call.
yeah. That's
So
true.
when VR intervenes, it's like a middleman intervene. You know what I'm saying? It's no different to sometimes a foul happens and then the fans started screaming at the ref and then the ref macam get all pressure and go like alamak, okay, maybe I should change my decision or something like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean this VR thing can go on for long and long, but at the same time, yes, it's a new technology. Yes, mistakes happen. Yes, it's a good thing that all this happens so that they can refine it, tweak it, and hopefully it'll be better. But at the same
true.
time, for Liverpool, whatever that's been coming out, all kinds of nonsense coming from them, is something that is not professional. That's what I feel. It's not professional.
I
Yes,
mean,
you have
what
a goal
what do
goes
you do for
against you.
this case? Like they are asking for a replay, as of course we are told that
That is ridiculous.
yeah, like I know it's ridiculous, but however,
That is
if in the future, like we're talking about, okay, this is in just Premier League level, okay.
yes,
Now, what if this is in a World Cup level? In a World Cup
yes,
level, and if they see these VAR mistakes and all happen, and if they
yes.
request for a replay, would you
Mhm.
still allow the replay?
No, no way. No way there should be any replay because of this kind of mistake. Because like I said, it's not new. Maradona scored using the hand, man. Anybody has to replay that? No,
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 no.
you don't replay games after you've blown it for 90 minutes unless the game like gets stopped halfway, some fans rioting or something like that, and then after that, and then the entire thing gets all haywire, and then the ref have to replay the remaining 20 minutes or 50 minutes. That's okay. That's cool. But if after 90 minutes you want to replay because of your and please look at it from this perspective, yeah. Diaz scored in the first half,
Yes.
right? That so-called offside goal that's supposed to be a goal is in the first half,
Which was
right?
after they
What
were down
makes
to 10 men, it was 0-0, and they were the first to score.
yeah, exactly. There you go. But what makes you think that anyone can guarantee that after they scored, they wouldn't lose the game fair and square?
Yeah, I mean, apparently,
You
because they
know?
were saying that, it's psychological thing, because it's like if you are down to 10 and you score a goal up in front,
Yeah,
as a
for sure,
manager, you're just
for
going to
sure.
try your best to defend. And to be fair, Liverpool played well despite the 9 men.
Of
And
course, for sure. I mean, I almost
everyone said
thought
they
the
kind of
game's
at
supposed to
least
be a draw.
deserve a point just for the performance
Yeah,
alone, without all the controversies. But
for
it's
sure.
just that the
Yep.
the decision is what kind of like caused them. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Because for me, this kind of situation, it's very, very difficult to guarantee. Yes, it gives you a morale boost or whatever, anything like that, but it doesn't change anything. Like it doesn't change anything. Okay, so I mean, there are two situations here that I would love to hear from whoever it is. Yeah, the first situation is situation one. What if Liverpool were to win that match against Spurs with 9 men?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if instead of the OG they got, for some reason they won that match 2-1 or whatever the scoreline may be with 9 men? Would they still argue about this offside goal?
No, they won because they won already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see, so that's the thing, which is why I find it puzzling. If let's say you're not gonna do one thing, like if you're really, really from the start very keen about VAR and all that, then you should really speak it up. And no need to go so far. The one of the games Man United faced versus Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
Onana went out and do
Yep.
a clumsy uh challenge or whatever you want to call it. He actually punched the guy, or I don't know what he did. But yeah, there's contact with the Wolves guy, and that clearly is supposed to be intervened by VAR or by whoever.
Yeah.
But after that, you see what happened? Ain't nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happened. They just come out to apologize and just that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You move on, right? You move on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to be fair, yes, Liverpool asking for the audio clip and this and that, or because they want transparency and everything like that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's all cool and all. But I mean, at the end of the day, nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is very, very, and at the same time, we don't want football to be like, I mean, we are already losing the magic of players scoring and celebrating, right? We are already
Yeah.
losing that magic, right? Players score, they're very happy, they're jubilant. Some of them score on their debut and everything like that. But after they celebrate like crazy, they have to wait and stare at the dreadful screen, and then only for the screen to go like offside, no go, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's not make football into a robot math kind of 1 + 1 = 2 kind of solution. You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean, yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
it
like,
is possible, but it won't be fun. You know what I'm saying? It is possible, but it won't be fun.
it's
You know what I'm saying?
possible. It is
You're taking
possible,
out the
but
magic of it.
but I understand you, yes, because the football needs to maintain its integrity, while at the same time they
Yes.
are trying their best to perfect their decision making, especially because I think the number one that everyone cries out for is the consistency in the refereeing. And I mean, I don't know, like for Liverpool fans, if you are hearing or watching this anywhere, you can let us know what you think. Comment down below. If you have time to roast Mr. JB or myself, feel free to go ahead, share with us what you think. Like, because this is causing a whole story and a half, because they've been talking about this for a week now, and
Yeah,
still
I
trying
mean,
their best to
exactly. You know what I'm
find
saying?
a conclusion to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. Trying to find a conclusion. I mean, I can respect. Liverpool, if or whichever club, if they were to point this VR out, if they give solution, yeah,
Yeah,
they give solution,
yeah,
not just by shouting like, hey, let's be transparent about it. Okay, release the audio clip. Okay, they release the audio clip, and now what?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And now what? Like, okay, so what's the solution? So you want every match, after every match, you want the VAR people or the PGMOL or whoever it is to give audio clips to the clubs to listen or what?
yeah.
And how does that help? You know what I'm saying? How does that help? It doesn't help. So yes, like what you said, spot on. If Liverpool were to win that game against Spurs, I'm not
Would you
sure how
complain?
much will they complain about that outside goal. I'm
That,
not sure how much of that they will complain, or they will ask for the audio clip or whatever it is. Yeah,
yeah,
and then and then on the other side of the spectrum, when the VR is for you and not against you, you wouldn't complain, would it?
yeah. Of course you wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Of course you wouldn't. There you go. So I mean, this VAR thingy, this is not the first time the VAR made a mistake, right? This is
yeah.
not the first thing
Yes, like I said,
VAR
it's been
make
years.
any
Even
sort of
before
mistake.
we created the podcast, even till now we have created. Probably in the next 10 years or so, there might be some weird decisions. It's never gonna surprise us.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the beauty of football, right? That's the beauty of football, right?
Yeah,
I mean, can I question the Liverpool defender for scoring an own goal? You can't, because it's football.
yeah. It's
It's a
football.
mistake.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can't answer that
yeah,
one.
exactly. I mean, if you were to ask him and go like, how come you score an own goal? He'll say it's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a human mistake, right? No one in the right mind will go like, yeah, I scored that own goal for fun. You know what I'm saying? It's technique. I'm trying to show off my goal scoring opportunity. No, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not defending VAR. I'm not defending anyone.
yeah. But
All I
we have
know
to
is,
maintain its integrity at some point.
yes, you know what I'm saying?
Because if
So,
you're
which
gonna
is why
replay
this
one,
thing,
you're gonna have to replay all. So
exactly, yeah, exactly. So can you imagine the detrimentalness of replaying,
yeah,
you know? So you asking for a replay, all the games are gonna be replay, man. Almost like all the other games
you can
will be
make another
replayed just because
season
VAR
just for a
intervene.
replay. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like those void deck time when we play football. You remember that? Like
yeah,
every time we lose, they go like, "Hey, rematch, ah, yeah, okay, okay," and then rematch again. And then we lose, we just keep on rematching until we win. And then when we win, when the opponent want a rematch, we go like, "Nah, we don't want a rematch anymore." So I mean, come on, this whole rematch thingy and everything. I mean, and and this is so early in the season. It's not a cup final. It's not anything decisive. It's
yeah.
just a few points. You know what I'm saying? It's still a long way to go in the Premier League. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It
So
is.
I
It is.
mean, I mean to be
Right.
honest, because of this whole fiasco, I'm gonna focus on Liverpool. I want to see where they ends up at the end of this season. And if they end up with more than 15 points gap from the top, I'll be the first one laughing.
All right. And moving on now to after the whole Liverpool, the VAR and stuff. I mean, subsequently we have fifth, which is Aston Villa, six Brighton, seven West Ham, eight Newcastle, nine Crystal Palace, and number 10, Manchester United. Seven match, three wins, four loss, 9 points out of the seven games. Mr. JB, the floor is yours. What do you think of Man United
Hmm.
so far?
What do I think? Well, if there's one word to put it, I'll just put it as bad. No, you know what? I'll put two words. Very bad.
Very bad.
Yep. Very bad, very bad. I mean, it started we from, I think, even before the league started. I think that's where the problem already started to show. The lack of preparation, the late signing, the questionable signings. Because during the rumor phase, like you heard, Man United wanted to buy uh, the Korean defender, I forget his name,
Yeah.
uh, the one that went to buy it. Uh,
The one that went to Bayern?
oh man, yeah, the
The,
Korean defender.
oh, yeah. The Kim. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you see, it all started from there. Like you hear rumors of that, and then you heard rumors of we wanting to buy Benjamin Pavard and all that,
Yeah.
and all that didn't happen, right? And then end up, I mean, okay, we do have some signings and stuff, but I mean, the players that we wanted to offload, we didn't get to offload, we didn't get to sell them. So that itself is already bad, right? Uh, the lack of preparation, number one. Number two, when the league started, injuries. Yeah, I mean the fact that our left backs, okay, both the main left back and the backup left back are injured. Luke Shaw, Malasia is out for a while. Uh, you know, it's not looking good at all. The injuries, and then Lisandro Martinez as well, and Varane, uh, always picking up injuries here and there. And then recently, as of this podcast, Martinez will be going for another injury surgery.
Hmm.
Um, so he might be out for a while. Yeah, and then players who are showing some signs of talent during the preseason, like Kobe Mainu
I mean,
and
okay,
Ahmad
like
Diallo,
I understand like
injured.
injuries are part of it, but
Uh,
to your start of the season, you're telling me that injuries is the only issue and not Ten Hag have any like any fault in his start this way, and some of the players as well that Ten Hag have chosen or purchased or select in his team have kind of like I don't know have certain like they have to take the blame as well at some point, like the managers and the players, because again, this is apparently as being told that this is the worst Man United start in over 30 years. And
yep, that's right.
the fact that
That's right.
last season Man United ended up with third place, winning a Carabao Cup, which is a decent start considering that's his first season. And we would all think that Man United might have a kickstart, that hey, maybe this season might be the one that you guys can challenge for FA Cup a bit more. You guys can challenge for the Champions League. You guys can maybe go for the title charge. But it seems like a step back at the moment. And the step back, it wasn't a minor one. It's quite a massive step back. So do you feel like is it more of a manager or is it more of a players?
Of course. I mean, end of the day, the manager is the one that select the players, and
Yeah,
he's the one that dictate the style of play. Yeah. So
yeah,
you can tell that Ten Hag, one reason why he bought Andre Onana is to play from the back, right? Because he wants a ball playing goalkeeper,
yeah,
right? So he wants to attack. He wants to attack the opposition on the break. And yes,
yeah,
that plan on paper is good, but at the same time, based on the result, it's not looking too good. So yes, he definitely have some form of blame here and there. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. Yes, injuries and all play a part as well, because if you have 10 players to choose from, you can make better decisions, right?
yeah,
If I were to give you only 4 players out of 10, and especially if the 4 players are not, maybe one or two are not in their natural position and everything like that, you'll be in haywire. So I do believe that uh, manager is to be blamed, but at the same time, players to be blamed as well. Uh, but again, I mean, if the players are trying their best to execute the manager's plan, then the blame can shift here and there, lah, whether
yeah,
who gets the more blame or not. And at the same time, let's not forget about the outside of football distractions, I would say, that Man United this season had, right?
yeah. A lot of off
First
the
with
field incidents with Man United this season.
Yeah, I'm saying too many of the field distractions, I would say, and this one caused really a huge distraction to the team and everybody else, starting with, of course, Jadon Sancho, right?
Yeah,
As of this recording, how many weeks has it been? 3 weeks? I don't know, 2 weeks.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Basically coming three
I mean,
weeks now.
yeah, I mean, I lost count, right? But you can tell that dude has got some attitude problem. Like clearly, he has an attitude problem. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, Sancho is a talented player, and I'm the one who always back him up. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget about he taking a break last season. I think a few months,
Yeah,
right? He took a few months, right?
yeah,
Yeah, with his payroll on and everything else. So, but I'm still defending him at the point of time. But to say what he did, I mean, for whatever actions that he did, it's not doing him any good. Because in this battle between him and Ten Hag, there's only one winner. That's Ten Hag. Ten Hag, there's no way Ten Hag is gonna put down his ego and go like, okay lah, you know what? Let's just accept Jadon Sancho. Okay, Sancho, let's just make amends and let's move on. He
yeah,
cannot do that because he will set the standard to other players. Other players will look at him and go like, okay, so Sancho can get away with it. I can do it too. then they'll start saying things on social media and stuff like that and calling people out and everything like that. So for me, Sancho is doing a big mistake because him doing like this, it's not doing him any good. No manager. I mean, I'm not sure whether there's any manager out there who wants to work with a player like that. Because other managers will take a look and probably go like, "Yo, man, I can't say much about this player because the moment I say about him, gonna backfire and he's not gonna play for me." So that's one. And then the second distraction is the Anthony, right? Anthony and his whatever case that he is having at the moment, the on trial and all that. So you see, so all these things kind of disrupt a little bit of the manager's plan. You know what I'm saying? Because the manager already has a plan, he bring in the players, but sadly some of the players are injured. Like Hoyland when he comes in, he was already injured. I don't know why or how he passed medical test. Sofian Amrabat came in, he's injured too.
Yeah.
And then I think, yeah, and then after that they brought on loan Sergio Reguilon, who's not so bad, played a few games, and then he got injured. So now I don't know. Is it the water at Manchester United, or is it true whatever that Ronaldo said the other time about the facility being old or anything like that? Because something is wrong with the players. Like why can't they keep fit? Like why are they always injured? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me,
One
all this,
question for you. One question for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Is Ten Hag the right manager for you?
Well, that's a difficult question. I think the right question you're supposed to ask me is, do I
Because
want
I'm
him to
not gonna
stay
say
or not?
whether in or out for him, because it's way too early in the season for us to do that. But do you feel
Hmm.
that Ten Hag is the right manager to lead Manchester United?
Looking at the chances right now, I would say yes, because there's no other managers out there. If let's say we were to get rid of Ten Hag at the moment,
I
no
mean, there's
manager
still
want to come
Zidane
and
available, you know?
nah. I mean, even Zidane or even any of the manager, even Pep. All right, I mean, let's bring Pep inside this conversation. All right,
Okay.
even if Guardiola, right now, looking at Man United situation, he wouldn't want to come. He wouldn't want to come at all. He wouldn't. Why? Because it's simple. Man U is in a mess right now. Our team is in a mess. From the owners, that time the owner say you want to sell, but end up he's not selling. You want to sell, but you don't want to sell.
Uh,
So you know what I'm saying. So all this, the whole shambles. So
I mean,
you know,
my personal take, I mean, this is coming from
it is
a
what
different fan
it
who
is.
sees Man United.
Ten Hag, whether he's the man or not,
I like,
he
honestly, when I
has
see,
to leadership. He has to do what he has.
yeah, I mean, he has to do what he has to do. Uh, Personally, as a non-Man United fan, and again, as a rival fan seeing this, I mean, first of all, it's disappointing to see Man United being like this. Second of all, certain things like the way that Ten Hag plays, it's questionable at times. I mean, let's talk about the most recent, which is against the Crystal Palace. You guys lost 1-0. The fact that you guys actually played against Crystal Palace just few days before you guys lost at 1-0, you guys won that 3-0 in Old Trafford. Yet when a few days later in the same place, same opponent, same everything, you guys lost 1-0. And I noticed that it's not that Ten Hag decided to play the same squad who actually win them. He put like Sofian Amrabat as left back. I believe on the game. He put Sofian
Yep,
Amrabat as left back. Yes, I get it. Injuries.
yep,
Sure. But it is that bad to the point that you can't even put like, I mean, if you're gonna put Sofian Amrabat as left back, you might as well just put Harry Maguire as left back. At least even if he were to make errors, he's not gonna be in the box and being like a penalty kind of thing. But you putting Sofian Amrabat, who just joined just a week ago, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, and already having to play out of position, which kind of brings a lot of question. So my personal thing is that Ten Hag needs to know his right 11 now. Since the transfer window has been shut, yes, it is difficult to have your best 11 if you don't have all your players yet. Again, like what you say, injuries are part of the game every single season. Every team are riddled with injuries at some point. But Man United needs to have another team that you can tell that the injuries are not gonna affect this team. Like you see Hoyland, yes, when he joins, he's injured, but the moment he starts to play, he looks like a man who has never been injured before. He can play all day. So I don't know what kind of medical team it is, but like what you say, maybe the water or something. But as Man United, I feel that Ten Hag needs to have his 11 as soon
That's
as
right.
possible. Be whether
That's
with
right.
injuries or without, he need to have the core already set
Yep.
place in the team.
Yep, that's right. I mean, that's the mistake that I think Ten Hag have to answer and take ownership, because yes, at this point of time, if you still don't know who's your best 11, it's a problem.
I
It's a
mean,
problem. It's not
experiment,
good
yes, because you
because
still have new players. Like even Arsenal, we are still trying to incorporate Havertz into our team, and not all the time is going to be good. So same thing with Man United, but it's just that the biggest issue is that you guys can score at times. It's just that you guys concede a lot more than what it is.
yep,
And
that's right. I mean, I'm not denying that. Which is why I said our biggest problem this season is the defense and the midfield. Uh, we have the wingers, we have the striker. Uh, Goals will come, so I'm not so worried about that. But I think, like what you said, the defense is just all over the place. Amrabat has left back coming. I mean, and certain games even Dalot had to play left back, which is ridiculous
actually,
because he's not.
I just noticed that Man United didn't score that much or so in the 7 games. Out of the 7 games, they only scored 7 goals.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we did.
And
We did.
Nottingham Forest, who is 12th, by the way,
Yep.
score 8 goals so far. Brentford, who is
Mhm.
14, 4 places below you guys, scored 10 goals already. And
That's right.
even Wolves, who is 15, scored 8 goals. Of course, some of them conceded more than Man United, but yeah, it's quite
That's right.
surprising to see that. Yeah. I mean, well,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it's still early. It's only 7 games. We still have a whole 30 games, 31 games to go. It's time for us to move on to predictions straight away if we can, because we don't want to dwell too much on the Man United pain. I shall cut short for you on your behalf.
for sure. For sure.
All right, let's move on to the predictions straight away. Starting at the bottom, the relegation. At the moment, as of recording, we have Sheffield United 20th, Bournemouth 19, Burnley 18, Luton 17, Everton 16, Wolves 15. I'm just gonna say 15 to below because these are the close areas. Um, my relegation prediction, yeah, Sheffield United. I'm sorry, dead bottom. You guys are going out. They play really well against Man City, and that's the only game that they actually play really well. But every other game, it doesn't look like they have the quality enough to stay in the league. Next one, I would say, unfortunately, I'm probably going to say Luton. Yes, they have won Everton just recently, and they are just outside the relegation zone, but they lost to Burnley, who is they are one of their, I guess, main rivals who got promoted together with them. And losing these kind of games is more difficult actually, because these are the kind of games that you have played before last season, and these are the games that you should be winning. And yeah, I would say Sheffield United will go down, Luton will go down. My third one is a bit of a toss up, but I'm gonna say either Everton or Bournemouth. But I'm gonna say Bournemouth probably. Sorry, Bournemouth. I just they play interesting football, yet they cannot get the result. They might have a very tough start in the season with the fixtures, but however, I feel that with with the new manager, it's exciting, but the players are just not at quality again. So my guess is Sheffield United, Luton, Bournemouth. Uh, but a bit of a toss up with Everton. Mr. JB, your 3 relegation teams.
Well, I must say, Sheffield, Burnley, and Luton.
Sheffield, eh?
Sheffield,
Yeah.
Burnley, and Luton.
So all 3 promoted clubs are going down.
All three promoted club are going down. I'm not impressed by them so far. I mean, we have seen the past few seasons very good. championship side who's here to
Yeah, like
stay.
Leeds who've
Teams like
gone up.
Brentford,
Yeah.
yeah, Leeds, Brentford. Uh, but Leeds have sadly gone down again. But
Yeah, but
those who
their
are
first
here to
season
stay.
was memorable.
No, of course, for sure. But yeah, I mean, they are not like Brentford or
Yeah.
Forest or Fulham for that matter. So I must say, sadly, these three hasn't been impressed so far, their performances. But again, you never know. Because even Burnley, Man United just managed to scrape 1-0. So they do have some in there. But those are my predictions at the moment.
Right. So moving on up to the conference side, which is, I believe, in position 8, 7. Yeah, 8 and 7. I believe fifth and sixth is Europa, but there is talking about the fifth spot of EPL may be given as a Champions League spot. I'm not sure whether you know, because apparently they are discussing that EPL whoever will finish fifth in EPL can go to Champions League. And
Mm-hmm.
reason for that is because of the coefficient that the past few Champions League has been
Right.
won by EPL only. Because Man City
Mm-hmm.
won, Chelsea won, Liverpool won. So the past
Right.
has been pretty much all EPL. So they are due to that they're gonna reward the fifth place to be Champions League, but it's not confirmed yet. So we're gonna maintain to just 8 and 7, I believe, is conference. Yeah. Actually, wait, I don't think 8 is conference. I think 7 is conference, 6 and 5 is Europa. So we're just gonna do 7, 6, 5. Um,
Right.
7. Yeah, 7, I'm gonna go with. Ooh, this might be tough, but I would say 7 will be. I'll go with. I'll go with Aston Villa 7. Aston Villa 7.
What? Oh, come.
Yeah, Aston Villa
Okay.
7 in the conference position. Number 6,
Okay.
I would say Man United. I'm sorry.
Ooh. Okay.
And number 5 will be Newcastle. Now, again, Newcastle, no one like predicted them to be in Champions League last season. Everyone thought for them to be conference first, but they just jumped into Champions League. And they performed well also in Champions League. They just won PSG 4-1. But I feel that because this is the first season that they're going to have a midweek Champions League and EPL, they're not going to cope well with it. So something tells me that they're not going to outdo their fourth spot in Premier League like what they did last season. So I would say fifth at best. Man United, I'm sorry. I mean, I initially thought before the start of the season, I want to put you guys as top 4, but seeing how you guys start, the best I can give is 6. Could be worse,
So,
like 6 is still Europa spot. It's not the worst, okay? It's not the worst, but I feel that, losing 4 games already in early this season, it's gonna make a lot of grounds to catch up, and it's difficult because you guys also have Champions League to play in between, and currently Champions League at the moment isn't going too well also on you guys at the moment. You guys are last, dead bottom at the moment. So me giving 6 is quite of a hopeful
mhm.
choice. Yeah. And 7 Aston Villa because quite frankly, I'm quite impressed with Aston Villa so far this season. They are proving to be one of the dark horse to mess around in the top 6, together with Brighton,
Right.
of course, special mention, and also, well, Chelsea if they choose to show up. But I'm not gonna put Chelsea in the
Yeah.
top 7 at all. So that's my 5th, 6th, 7. Mr. JB, your 5th, 6th, 7, please.
Okay, well, I mean, to be honest, this fifth, six, seven is gonna be one of the most difficult predictions in a while
All
because
right. But you did predict well
this kind
last
of thing.
season, so let's see what you have to say.
All right. So okay, let me just pull out my handy table here. Okay, so fifth, six, seven, yeah. Okay, so I think so only three lah, fifth, six, seven, right? Not even eight. So you're not gonna
No,
count it.
I believe it's 5th, 6th, 7 for now. Unless the coefficient comes in, then it might reach to 8. But we'll leave it at 5, 6, 7 for now.
Okay, I think fifth will be Newcastle.
Yep. Okay. Similar with me. All right.
Six will be Brighton.
6 will be Brighton. Okay.
and 7 will be Aston Villa.
Wow. So
That's
5th,
right.
6th, 7, Newcastle, Aston Villa. Sorry, Newcastle, Brighton,
Mhm.
Aston Villa.
That's right. That's right. In fact, I actually want us Newcastle to finish in the top four, but
So basically, we
it's up.
both
But
have the
just
same 5th and 7. We both said 7 Aston Villa and 5th Newcastle. I put Man United 6. You put Brighton 6. Why Brighton
that's right.
again to be in the top 6?
Why Brighton? I mean, have you seen them play? I mean, they're great. They're,
Yeah, but
I mean,
they have shown their inconsistency at times. Recently they just
yeah,
lost 6-1 to Aston Villa, which is a
yeah.
funny
I mean,
story because between the three clubs that you mentioned,
yep,
Newcastle trash Aston Villa, Aston Villa trash Brighton, Brighton trash Newcastle, and it just
yep,
come full circle.
it's
And
slowly
these
becoming
three
like
are like the dark horse behind the initial big six of the club.
that's right. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not denying that. Yes, they do have their inconsistencies, but I mean, with the amount of players that they have and the players that they let go, right?
Yeah.
I think they do put up a good fight, like at least a good fight. So I feel that they will surprise. They will continue surprising, of course, not just with the string of unexpected result, but I do think that they have what it takes to start winning matches, especially against the rest of the smaller teams, or I would say the rest of the bottom half of the teams. I think they can have a chance of getting full points.
Yeah. All right. All right. Okay, moving on to the top four. Well, this might be interesting because the top four of the current table will be quite similar. I would just change a little bit. Fourth
Mm-hmm.
will be Liverpool. Third
Okay.
will be Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Second will be Arsenal. And first, Man City. And yes, Man City is probably going to lift up their fourth time in a row. I'm
Oh,
sorry to
come
say
on.
this. I mean,
Wait,
I hate
sorry,
putting
sorry.
Man
Can I hear
City
your?
every single time.
Sorry, can I hear your fourth again? Sorry.
Yeah, fourth, Liverpool. Third,
Mm-hmm.
Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal second. Man City
Mm-hmm.
first.
Ooh, interesting.
I mean,
Interesting.
again, like I said, as much as I hate keep on saying Man City is gonna win first every single season, but hey, they are the team. They just won treble last season. Sure, you may think they might take off, just step off the gas a little bit. But no, they are coming off, they know that they might be the first to get 4 Premier Leagues in a row. Never been done before. I'm sure Pep would definitely want to get that, and he will get what he wants. Arsenal gonna be second again, but Spurs, I guess, better than last season, if you ask me. Last season they just capitulate, and I called that with Antonio Conte incident. But this time
Yep.
around, I will put them as third above Liverpool, which would be good. And Liverpool I'll put fourth because honestly, I feel like they could have been third or second also as well. But then again, Liverpool has always have a record of injuries that hampers them. So that's my take. Give me your top four, Mr. JB. Tell me why.
Ooh. Okay, this one's gonna be tough, not so popular choice, but fourth, I'm gonna put Man United. I'm gonna put Man United at fourth.
So,
That's right, I said it. I said
Man
it. All
United
right, I
fourth.
said it.
Okay,
Fourth,
okay.
fourth will
All
be
right.
Man United. That's it. I said it.
All right.
All right, fourth will be Man United. All right. Sadly, Arsenal will be Arsenal will be third.
Arsenal third. Okay. And who's second?
Yeah. Arsenal will be third. Second will be Spurs, and of course, first will be Manchester City.
Okay, wait. So basically, we have Man City, correct? We have
Mhm.
Spurs and Arsenal swap.
That's right.
So you put Man United in fourth over Liverpool. And fifth, six, seven, you have never mentioned Liverpool. So you saying Liverpool will finish eight and below.
That's right. That's right. I call for it. I call for it. It's a prediction. All
look,
right. Hit
look,
me
I
all you
know it's a
want, but it is what
prediction.
it is.
Look, I know it's a prediction. I know it's not meant to be judged. Again, crazy thing has happened. Last season, you called Brighton to be in top six, which no one expected, and they did. So who are we to say? But it is quite a
That's right.
surprise. So why Man United fourth then? I mean, we can agree on the top three because your top three and my top three are similarly there. Just tweak one or two. We have both Man City on top. But why Man
Yep.
United fourth? Is this biasness?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can say biasness, but at the same time, the season will start. You know what I'm saying? The season will start somewhere. We'll get a good run. And for me, the only reason why I wanted Liverpool to finish um, eight or below or whatever is because of their uh, protest of this VAR thingy way too much. They're gonna get it. Karma will get it. VAR will go against them every single game, and then yeah. So
Okay, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
that's my
I mean, viewers or listeners who are watching or listening to this, if you think that Mr.
yeah
JB have an agenda against Liverpool, please let me know. And
yes
the fact that you have strong faith in Man United being fourth, again, anything can happen. And to be
sure
fair, it is considered a lower position than what Man United get last season because last season is third, and you're predicting
yep
them to be fourth.
yep
So why
that's
the
right
lower? Is it because you've seen the start of the season for them and you have no confidence in that? Or do you
yeah
because I can tell initially before the season start, I'm pretty sure you put them as higher.
yeah for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
before the season start, I actually put them at least second, at least. But yeah, I mean, this bad start is a bad start, so the point gap will be pretty far. So yeah, I would just want them to just make it for the Champions League, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Just yeah,
Yeah. The fact that you say Liverpool will be out of Europe, not even conference, it
yeah,
is quite
yeah,
it is quite a statement because you did mention about Klopp 7 year curse. And it did
yep,
kind of happen a bit last season, but except towards
yep,
the end of the
almost,
last
almost.
season, they kind of claw back up to fifth, almost
Yeah,
reached to
correct, correct.
fourth, almost reached to fourth, but
That's right.
they couldn't.
Yep,
So do you think the curse is still gonna happen? This is Klopp's first time going into 8 year into a managerial career.
yep. I mean, yeah, I mean, all these seven curse and all that. I mean, even the same talk has been said about Mourinho, um, and all that. But for me, yeah, I mean, anything can happen in football. So yeah, I mean, Liverpool might get injuries, and looking at their rate cards and everything like that, it's not looking too good for them as well, discipline wise and all that. So yeah, we'll see if they can prove me wrong.
All right. Okay, just a quick one before we wrap up our part one of our today's episode. Give me your the dark horse of the Premier League. Basically, not dark horse. Another word will be overachievers and underachievers. So, which team is gonna
Okay.
overachieve this season? Which team?
Overachieve. Wow.
Yeah,
I
meaning
think
beyond
Spurs are. Definitely
expectation.
Spurs. Yeah, I think Spurs. Spurs. I'll put
Spurs.
Spurs out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put
Um.
Spurs out there. I mean,
All right.
they've gone through a rough patch, so yeah, Spurs.
Okay. I'm actually gonna still stick to Aston Villa. I think I'm very convinced with Villa being can be a overachieving club when like I believe they can give more than what they have a very good squad and yeah I believe they can overachieve. Underachieving, who's gonna underachieve, who's gonna have a more
Mm.
difficult season than what people expect?
Oof. I think that is tough though. I think it has to be Man United. It has to be Man United.
But you put them fourth.
Yeah, but fourth isn't an achievement for a club like Man United. Fourth is never an achievement. They spend quite a bit too, and they're not getting any trophies. I think this season. So to finish just fourth is another achievement for Ten Hag and the rest of the staff. So basically, it's nothing to be proud of at all.
All right. I think my underachieving is a toss up between these two teams, which is Newcastle or Chelsea. Why I say
Okay.
Newcastle? Because to be fair, last season they overachieved so much that this season will be very pretty much underachieving if they don't get top four, considering they set a very high standard.
Yep.
However, we know that Champions League football is going to come in and it's going to take effect on them. they might
That's
underachieve
right.
this season. So that's a more reasonable kind of a thought. But another one, Chelsea, which no offense, I cannot see anything happen in Chelsea at
Ah,
the moment.
yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you did mention Chelsea. Yeah, yeah, okay. So it may not
Chelsea
be
is
United, but
probably one of the most underachieving because last season already they fell out of top 10 for the first time in a very long time. And this season again, 8 points in 7 games. That is not a good start at all as well for them. They're not gonna change, especially because Pochettino come in is gonna take time for them. So therefore, I feel that Chelsea is gonna be the biggest underachievers again, like last season, similar this season. Is a rebuild for them. It's a rebuild process. They're gonna take time. It's not much can do there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, Chelsea. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's good that you mentioned that because I kind of like have that feeling about Chelsea as well. So yeah, I mean, I totally forget about Chelsea. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Chelsea
see,
might be the one that
Chelsea became quite mid tier that you forget about Chelsea,
underachieved.
bro.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. But yeah,
All
spot
right.
on. Good
I
call. Good
mean,
shout.
yeah, we come to the end of part one to our podcast. Hope everyone who are listening and watching, hope you guys enjoy. And of course, don't forget to, always like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, especially the VAR decision we made, our predictions, Mr. JB's agenda to Liverpool more specifically. Just let us know what do you think. And we'll see you for the part two where me and Mr. JB has something interesting in store in our challenge in the next part of this episode. So do stick around and we'll see you guys. Take care, everyone.